Yeah, the girls in there they're in the other room jacking off.
What?
It's like jacking around, honey. You don't want to say jacking off.
Welcome back to the Freeform podcast.
Okay. Yeah, seriously.
Actually, what I said was, I'm not going to tell you what it means. Just don't say that one.
That's fair. Welcome back to Freeform. Here today is Tim and Zach and long vacant Russ.
Still vacant.
Yeah, well, depends on who you ask. And of course myself, Dallas. Today, Gabby is not with us. She is recovering.
Passed away?
I said she's not with us. You know, not like the royal us, but just us.
The royal us.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's new, apparently.
Yeah. Get educated, English majors. Where have you been? To and fro.
To and fro.
Yeah.
Summers are largely fro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Less two.
Less to, much
Mostly
more
fro.
Mostly fro.
Dang.
Yeah. So I think we're gone like 6 or 7 out of 11 weeks in the summer,
Yeah.
and I'm about to leave town again. So it's
That's
just what I do now.
That makes sense. Yeah, I was gonna say I never expect you to be around anymore.
Yeah.
So fun fact, you guys didn't know this, but Russ came to my house last night,
Yeah.
thinking that it was Thursday, or thinking that somehow we were meeting on Wednesdays.
And then then he showed me this thing called Google Calendar. Have y'all heard of this?
Yeah,
And I was like, oh,
it's pretty incredible. Google Calendar for all your calendary needs. So he comes over last night, and funny enough, this is also becoming a strange trend with Russ, because he did it last year, and he did it this year too. Around the same time, within about a month of each other, actually.
Okay.
Last year, you came to my house to drop off a gift, which is actually a tiny little Archer doll, which I still have. Or it's not a doll. It's a tiny little it's like a statue.
It's a figurine.
Figurine. Sorry,
Yeah.
I couldn't. Yeah, thank you.
Or a doll.
I'm fine with saying doll. I think people get what I'm saying. Anyway, it's a cool little figurine of Archer, and he's like downing a bottle of alcohol, and he's got his finger out to the side, like saying like shut up, like don't talk, while he's downing it. And Russ, of course, gave me that last year as a birthday present, which I thought was super awesome. But when he brought it to my house, I wasn't home, but my dad was here, installing the fans and installing me a new sink here in my house. And so it's just funny that when he came to drop that off, my dad was here, but I wasn't. Then last night he comes to my house, and of course it was unannounced, because if he would have just texted me, then I would have been able to coordinate. But that's Russ's style. He likes to surprise. He likes to pop in, and so he pops in, and guess who's at my house last night? Stuart. Stuart is here working on his website, his masterpiece. And of course Russ pops in, and then he's like, oh. And then I asked Stuart, I was like, oh, so he's like, yeah. He goes, this is exactly what Stuart said. I go, so what, he came in and did he ask for me? He goes, no, he just knocked, came in, looked around, didn't say anything, and then sat down on the couch. And he goes, and then we just started talking.
That's not what happened.
That's the way Stuart describes it.
I stood in the
That's
door
a very
for probably
Stuart thing to
90
say,
seconds.
Yeah.
I stood in the door for probably 90 seconds.
Oh, really?
And he kind of moved away from the door.
What was he, sitting in front of the door or something?
No. I mean, instead of standing in front of the door when somebody answers it.
Oh, right.
He kind of moved away from the door.
That's very
leaving
Stuart.
The vacancy.
And
I asked him about. I don't know. I don't know. But yes, I did invite myself in.
No, it was just funny to hear him the way he described it, which I was like, I think that's not too far from the truth the way he described it. But then again, Stuart is not one for details. He will tell you this. He's very poor at pretty much any kind of memory, and recalling details is really not his strong suit. So
we talked for a couple hours solid. Though.
He said you guys have been talking for, he said, at least an hour before I came back home. And I got back here later than I expected. And then my perspective coming home, his big black SUV is outside my house right here, and I come up to it, and I was just like, and I knew Stuart was here, but I was like, in my head, I was like, who the hell did Stuart invite over?
Right.
And who does he know who has a big black SUV? Like, he doesn't know anyone who drives.
The hooker.
John.
But see,
wow.
That's an
the
impressive
pimps. It's the pimps.
Ah, that
So
makes
he
sense. So
ushers
he's ushering her.
his
Yeah,
girls
that
about.
makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, and
See,
he's got to stick
I
around.
was just gonna say John Wick, but that
No, he doesn't drive a big black SUV.
you're right. He crashes it.
Oh, you mean like at the very, very end? Okay, sure. I guess I'll give
It
you
wasn't
that.
his,
But he never, for we'll say a suspended amount of time or a certain amount of time, he never drives anything like that.
Yeah, no,
So
it's
he's
not
like
his style. I guess.
Flashy sports cars,
Yeah.
but like old classics,
muscle cars.
sweet motorcycles.
Because he's strong.
Yeah.
You mean physically strong?
I mean, physically, metaphysically.
John Wick?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's probably everything except would be described as like physically strong. Maybe healthfully
That dude is yoked.
strong.
I think he could be considered physically strong because he can do.
If you
He's-
mean
he's-
endurance, yes.
Yeah,
he's
he's-
got incredible endurance.
He's not.
Yes.
He's not a superhero.
But he's not lifting anyone
Right.
anytime. Like, if he gets trapped under something heavy, I think that's how he's probably going to die in the series. He's just finally going to get trapped under something heavy, and he's going to be like, I can't get out of this. Oh, crap. And then that's going to be...
Are we expecting more John Wicks?
Oh,
There
yeah.
are
there are at
two
least two more.
confirmed. Number 4 is slated for next May.
Are they that? I mean,
They're very good.
I've seen, I think, all of them with y'all.
I don't know if you've seen all of them with us.
At least 2.
Yeah, I know we've seen a couple together. Yeah.
I mean, they're not that far apart one from the next.
Time-wise, no.
No,
No,
in fact,
I meant what happens in them.
That's what I mean too.
well, but literally, the story, if you pay attention, they're literally like almost hours from each other.
Yeah.
The second and third one are minutes.
I
Actually,
prefer not-
they
I
take
prefer
a.
not to pay attention.
Well, then that's why you don't like it.
I'm not. I like it fine. No, I like fine.
Oh, okay, you just don't
Oh,
like
it's
that it's
entertaining.
getting more sequels.
No, I mean,
you're like,
No, I'm
is it
just like-
worth those sequels?
No, it's not even that. I'm fine with it. No, I'm fine with it getting sequels.
Oh, okay.
My thing is like I'm just kind of wondering
how are they gonna?
how much different is it going to be.
No, I agree.
To be fair,
I agree.
I'm not saying I need something different. It's entertaining as it is.
It's almost like this great formula, which I'm like, if they keep going for too long, it's going to get boring because it's the same thing. But if they change it too much, the fan base is going to be annoyed because you're going to be like, why did you do that?
It's going to feel
Wh-
weird.
Which is why I am almost surprised that they were making a 4th one. But then I heard that the 5th one is slated, and I'm a little...
Okay.
I'm very hesitant for that because I'm like, wow, that's...
The biggest,
This
the
is
biggest
coming.
thing that's going to keep it a halfway decent series at least
Yeah.
is if they know when to cut it and
Yes.
just end it.
Yes.
Well, they're cashing in.
No, of course.
And which surprises me why we don't have more pushback from Dallas.
It's a good...
Because Dallas does not like it when the purity of the story.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
but
so far...
currently within the first 3,
Yeah, I mean,
it's pretty
the
solid.
story
the
is
difference
pretty,
is John Wick hasn't pulled a Hobbit series yet.
Yeah,
true.
where
That
it's just
hasn't happened.
completely like you're like, what did you do?
Yeah.
Except
you
you know
mean
what's gonna happen?
seven movies for the Hobbit?
Yeah.
Or-
You know what's
for
going to
like
happen
for like
as
220 pages of book, and you're like, how did you do that?
the John Wick sequel is going to be a show on HBO or something like
Yeah,
I'm okay with the Hobbit, by the way. I mean, it's
I'm not.
There's nothing about those movies that I'm okay with.
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
I mean, they're pretty accurate to the book.
No,
They're not even close.
no, they started out. I will say the first
I
one.
guess I'm thinking specifically of the songs.
The first one started out. The first one started out mostly.
Okay, you're not wrong about that.
yeah.
If you just take the songs,
Yeah.
Wait a second. Did they really get that far off?
barring Ed Sheeran's song,
Okay, that sucks.
They created a whole character that doesn't exist.
Oh, wasn't it? Which one was it? Is there a
The
female?
leader of the orcs.
well, and they made
Oh.
people
And
interact.
the elf dwarf relationship never happened.
Yeah, I was gonna say they brought in characters like Legolas and stuff. He was never in
Nope.
the Hobbit, like, you know, Saruman, that
They're like, we need
Galadriel,
that
that all
one
that
favi-
bit. That
we
was
need
not
that
in there.
one famous elf that everybody knows.
Yeah.
Orlando Bloom needs another 3 movies to show his face in.
Pirates sequels.
Has
they're doing
Orlando
those
Bloom
too.
showed his face in any movies in the last 3 years?
Pirates.
The new Pirates movie.
5. Well, I don't know if that was that the last 3 years?
I think so. Yeah.
Well,
Did you watch it?
isn't there a
absolutely
new
not.
Pirates movie?
The 5th one.
No, like coming out.
I
There's
don't
another
know.
one? I have no
There's
idea.
another Pirates movie coming out?
I
I
thought
think there could
was.
be because all of the old cast showed their face at least in the last one. So like it's hinty.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I feel like Barbossa's done enough.
I don't know what else.
Did you watch the 5th one?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert! You must not remember
Oh,
this.
never mind. Okay,
Barbossa's
really quickly.
dead in the end of the 5th one. So
No, he was dead at the end of the first one.
Don't
Also, really
okay,
quickly,
well
today,
he died again.
I know.
Meaning
he's
in
made
movies,
dead.
I would say nowadays when a character dies twice, in a story, if a character dies twice, they're dead. And if they're still alive after that, you just stop watching. Either way, the story is dead. That's the point because they've jumped the shark at that point. That's too much.
Yeah.
One resurrection we get down with. 2, come on.
to data, that movie came out in 2017 somehow.
Yeah, I told you. It was a while back.
Yeah, I thought it was much more recent.
Because I watched
I mean,
it.
that's
You know
4
how I
years.
remember? I
I saw
watched
it on
it
a
before I
plane.
got here, but when I was living in my
The
old
current
apartment.
there is an untitled Pirates of the Caribbean movie project.
Yeah, so I think they were planning to make
But
a 6th one.
That's the only thing
That
that's
tied
on
in with
IMDb.
Orlando.
I'm good
and
if they just
Kira.
make another National Treasure. That's what I want.
Oh,
That's never gonna happen.
I know. It's unfortunate.
why? Because of Nicolas Cage?
No, Nicolas Cage
No.
will do anything.
Yeah, that's what I've learned.
No,
Yeah.
the
We still need to watch Jiu-Jitsu Master or whatever.
Oh god.
I heard no, dude. So there's a guy I like on YouTube. His name's Elvis the Alien. He does a lot of great movie reviews and stuff, and he really likes like sci-fi and kind of horror stuff
Right.
and those kind of like offbeat. He also has a special. He like really loves Nicolas Cage movies. He said he even went to go watch that. He said Nicolas Cage is barely in it, and he goes,
Yeah.
and it's crappy. It's not like even entertaining Cage. It's like he said it's horrible. He goes, don't even watch it for the meme.
So there's this whole
And I was like, oh, that means something.
there's this whole genre of movies that are coming out that started coming out maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Where they go and they get a marquee A-list star,
Yeah.
pay them the minimum that they can pay them,
Right. What did it take to show your face in this
Right.
movie?
and they're on screen for 5 minutes in a 2.5 hour movie, and the whole movie is to showcase this new no-name actor who no one's ever heard of, has no prior like billing to themselves, and it's a discovery.
Right.
Can
it's
we
trying to be
discover
like,
someone?
It's trying to
I feel
be
like it's
introducing
more trying to get butts and seats.
a little bit.
No, except these movies don't. They either don't,
Sometimes
go to the
yeah.
theater,
Sometimes they don't go to theater,
or they just go to the theater
So it's
for
like
a
a
week
streaming.
and then
Yeah.
they're gone.
Really?
because
Yeah.
so it really is one of those back in the old day. Way back in the day, like we're talking like the 30s and stuff, you'd always see in some of the other later movies, like even in the 80s and 90s, you'll see when they introduce a new actor or actress, and they'll say introducing da 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 da, and they usually have a semi strong role in that movie, right?
Yeah, and to show off their talent,
Right, and
Yeah.
this is almost like a showcase kind of a film. It's like someone took enough interest to go, you got chops, kid. I'm going to throw you in this film. Hopefully we get you some screen time with this other big actor, and then what that's going to do is generate it and hopefully get your name out there. And then someone's going to go, oh, I like that guy. It's like Johnny Depp in the first Elm Street, Nightmare on Elm Street, right? That was like his first like big.
Right.
Well, the current genre that I'm looking at, that
Yeah.
I've seen it's actors like Bruce Willis,
Yeah.
Kevin Costner, which I
Yeah.
never thought I'd see Kevin Costner in a movie. I forgot what it's called, but he's in it for like 10 minutes
Really?
of the entirety of the film.
And it's one of those those type of films.
It's one of those types of films.
That's interesting because he is
usually-
in Yellowstone, which is an incredible series right now.
But look at his, even when he sells out like he did in Robin Hood, it's
Yeah.
still like
Well, look at Waterworld.
it's still
But Waterworld
quality.
is
It's
good.
Still
It's
quality.
still a movie worth watching.
Yeah.
The real reason why that movie didn't do so well, like
Well,
box office
they went crazy amount over budget.
Yeah, no, they spent. It was the most expensive movie of all time at the time that it came out.
Right.
So it's really hard to tip the scales back, in that. But still, if you go back and watch it, quality film.
Yeah.
Really entertaining. Gosh, I can't remember the antagonist names, but that guy is just a fantastic actor in and of himself. His name's going to come back to me. I'll remember it. He's the same bad guy from Speed. The first Speed. Dennis Leary?
No.
No, not Leary. No. Dennis
You talking about the old Dennis Hopper?
Hopper.
Dennis Hopper.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's right. He is in
It's
Waterworld.
Dennis Hopper. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's the bad guy in Waterworld, and he's the bad guy in Speed.
He's just a great bad guy.
No, he's a great-
Dennis Hopper is one of the greatest actors. One of my.
Well-
I'm not. I don't know if he's one of the greatest. He's one of my favorites.
He's
Sure.
very entertaining. Yes, he's extremely
Yeah, I
entertaining.
fell in love with him when I was a little kid watching the movie Texas.
Oh, there you go.
Is
That's
this
a
a
good.
love
That's a good
story?
flick. No.
No, it's not. It's a good movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Solid movie.
Sounds like
And
a
it
romance.
And
to
it's
me.
weird. It's weird because think about this: Dennis Hopper playing
Yeah.
a cowboy. Not the only one he's ever played. I don't think either.
I don't think so. No.
But no, I mean he's the same guy who's, in the background of Apocalypse Now. That nut, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
And he plays a number of nut jobs in numerous movies.
He's good at playing an antagonist, and it's really entertaining. And the idea for Waterworld is a great idea.
I mean, it almost holds up better now than when it came out.
Yeah, no, seriously, it's like wow. Like I don't know. It's just it's just cool.
I don't know if I've ever seen the whole thing through.
Really?
Oh, it's
Yeah,
good. I have it.
The only reason I've watched it is because we watched it here.
Oh yeah. It's one of those movies that I
Yeah.
used to see on TV all the time
Right.
in the 90s when I was
And
a kid.
cut to pieces.
Right,
on
because they
TV.
can't. There's a lot of things they couldn't show on TV.
Yeah.
But I remember being so intrigued with just the idea
No,
it's
a super cool
of a water
concept.
world.
Yeah.
It's post-apocalyptic. He's a
It's-
transhuman. Like he's meaning like he's half.
He's Rainbow.
Right.
Letter P.
No,
No,
he's
no.
aquatic.
That's why I used that term, and then I was like, hold
He's
on. I have to explain
semi-aquatic.
this.
He's semi-aquatic.
Yeah, he's like a he's
Trans
he's,
with a semi.
No, they what is that
I think
called?
it's I
No,
think
they
it's
call
pronounced
him.
semi.
What do they call him in the movie? They actually call him a term. I can't remember.
You know what?
They call him like a.
I think you're
a
supposed to let them.
morph
I think
or
you're supposed to let them tell you what they want to be called.
Yes,
That's true.
that's probably true. Yes. Well, he never describes himself because one of his main things in that movie is he doesn't talk a lot. So,
Right.
which also makes him cool, and he has the coolest sailing
You
boat
know,
ever.
it was. I think after we watched Waterworld,
Uh-huh.
I realized it is just the negative form of Mad Max.
Yeah.
That's true. It's the
it is,
it's
yeah.
a converted, it's water
yeah,
version of Mad Max.
It's still
Oh,
desert,
absolutely.
That's a really good point. I never thought about that. Yeah,
and the dress really isn't that different.
It's very similar. Yeah,
I
that's
think-
true.
Yeah, I think that was it's actually a pretty awesome concept.
Yeah, no, it was great, and that's why I say I've talked to other people about it, especially people who grew up, in the '90s
Right.
or before, like '80s and '90s,
Mm-hmm.
and all the people I ever talked to about that, they always go, "Yes, love Waterworld, great. I'll throw that on." My buddy Drew, he's like, "I'll throw that on just on a Saturday afternoon, just throw it on, and watch it." I'm like, dude, it's a great, entertaining movie.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you've never seen it and you get to show it off to people. It's pretty great. And it's not too gruesome either. Like, see, Mad Max, I feel like there's certain things that are
Definitely
pretty gruesome. Waterworld is, like, palatable enough because I think it's a PG-13 rating. And it's not like a...
It's an accurate rating.
Yeah, it is truly... I wouldn't mind...
It's not Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah,
Wait a second.
exactly.
Wait a
Where
second.
you're like, there's
What
a
is that
sex
rated?
scene and there's...
Conan the Barbarian.
Is it
I think
PG?
it's
Is it
PG.
I think it's
80s,
PG.
80s PG?
80s
80s PG.
80s
Like,
PG means you might get to see some boobs.
There were definitely boobs in there,
Oh, yeah,
and a
definitely.
sex scene, and a
Yep.
bunch of weird other stuff. Yeah, a bunch of
And-
and hardcore violence.
Hardcore violence. Yeah.
Like people
Gruesome.
getting hacked and like chopped and
Let's
broken
see,
bones.
Now, what's his name? Played his opposite in Barbarian.
The original one,
The
That
the
was-
Barbarian or the Destroyer?
yeah, I think he was
What's
in.
his name?
I think he was in the first one.
Oh,
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones.
No. His played his opposite tough guy. You know.
Oh, as like the
7'1".
sidekick?
Come on. One of the most famous centers in the NBA. What's his
Kareem
name?
Abdul-Jabbar?
No.
Older
Older than Kareem. Why am I going
Wilt.
blank?
Wilt Chamberlain.
Wilt the Stilt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wilt.
Wilt's in that.
Is he in which one?
I think he might. You know what? Actually, you're right. Yeah, he is. I don't remember which one.
Yeah,
I don't
no.
remember which one.
I remember him now too. Yeah,
One of the most
Yeah.
impressive human
the
beings
one,
ever.
the one with the the virgin princess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
That's how I prefer
Is
my
that the one with the
princesses.
snake cult? The big snake cult?
I think James Earl Jones.
I think he's the leader of
Yeah,
that thing.
no, I think the one that Wilson is the destroyer.
Oh, okay.
Destroyers
The second one.
Second,
No, Barbarian
Barbarian's
is
the first one.
Yeah.
Destroyers.
and the barbarian is the one that is James Earl Jones. And the
That's
snake.
right, because he also tells his tale at the beginning,
Yeah.
and he's like, the tale of a, and he goes, and he sits upon the throne. He's like, heavy as the brow, and it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and it's James Earl, and it's like, oh, this is an epic. Like, wow.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah. He has epically few lines.
Yeah,
because he's a barbarian, of course. He can't talk.
Because he can barely speak freaking English.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's good casting, is what that.
That and Terminator, man. Can you imagine Terminator with literally anyone else?
Imagine like Arnold Schwarzenegger barely could freaking speak English.
Yeah.
And this dude becomes one of like the most famous dude on earth for a handful of years.
Oh,
No, Bill
absolutely.
Burr describes it the best.
I love.
If
Bill
you ever
Burr's
want
take
to,
on
if
it.
you ever listen, one of his stand-ups, or I think it was in one of his conversations with Conan even.
gold digging,
Yeah, I think it's the one with the gold digging.
an epidemic.
Yeah,
of gold digging.
I think it's that one. But anyway, with the way he describes it is perfect, so I'm going to butcher it a little bit. But basically, he goes, this guy, he goes, everything this guy does is like a win. And he goes, he first wanted to be a bodybuilder. He goes, so what did he do? He literally would sneak away because he was mandatory in the army in Austria. So he snuck away to go and get in shows while he was in the army. The army found out about it, and instead of getting mad, what they did, he was a part of the tank crew. They literally built in his tank slots to hold weights so he could work out while he was out on patrol and doing whatever he was doing.
Really?
Yeah, they heavily encouraged it. Then he, from there, from Austria, gets big enough, to where he's winning, all these competitions, bigger than all these people. Incredible bodybuilder, right? Incredible physique. Even today, people are held up to like his standard of what, the body looked like.
You win Mr. Universe 3 years in a row. That's gonna do that.
Well, yeah, and then overall for an overall 7,
Right.
and then on his last one, that was when I believe that was 79 or 80, or maybe it was 78. It was one of those 3 years. But anyway, the point is, then the guy comes along, he makes the documentary, Pumping Iron. Pumping Iron, and then that gets him.
You get to see some dude junk.
You get to, you get to see a lot of
Some schwanz.
male
Some
physique
Austrian
there.
schwanz. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no rating on that one. It's a documentary.
True.
So then he
It's actually
gets.
rated G.
Is it really? Oh, I guess that makes sense because
Documentary. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a documentary.
Guys.
So he goes from there. That blows him up, and he even in that documentary, they asked him, some side questions like, "Well, what do you want to do now? Because you're coming to the end of your bodybuilding career." And he's like, "I think I'd like to go to Hollywood and like act." And they're like, "Oh, okay." So then he goes to Hollywood, becomes a huge star, even though he can't even speak the language that well, right?
He can't even say the name of the state.
Has a heavy accent, so heavy that it's like hard for him to speak. But he does that, becomes a huge movie star. At one point, one of the biggest movie stars on the planet, arguably.
Yep.
Still is recognized by everyone today, 30 years later, 40 years later. Marries a Kennedy, which he was like, he puts that in reference. He's like, that's like marrying into royalty in another country. And he goes, the dude has been just, knocking it out of the park for decades.
now
He's
how-
like,
how
he goes, why didn't that guy think he couldn't bang the maid and get away with it?
Yeah. That's what I was gonna ask. Is what did he say about that part? Yeah.
And that's his whole thing, though. He's just like, he's like, the guy's nonstop. Like,
Bill Burr says, "It's a layup."
yeah, exactly. He's like, it's nothing. He's like, I do that in my sleep.
Man,
Makes me laugh so hard. And then he's got a good point. But anyway, Arnold is very, if you look at his whole life and career, is very interesting, very motivated and very accomplished guy.
Yeah.
Despite some of his.
I still remember the first time I saw Conan the Barbarian.
Mm-hmm.
It was on TV, so it was edited.
Oh yeah,
for TV.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah, no, it was, and I remember. I watched it and I was like, man, this is a really cool movie. This is because most of the violence made it through.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I was like, all right, cool. This is
American audiences were like, oh, we're fine with some
yeah.
gore. Yeah.
So I went out and I bought the DVD.
Oh, nice.
And I went home and put it in the DVD player to watch it. And
Dad, come watch this.
Yeah, Dad, come watch.
Well, it was in the family room, so I was just like watching it, and that wasn't in the TV version.
And you're like, oh,
wow, that wasn't either.
Yeah.
the
director's cut.
Well, what I never
director's cut for sure.
I never understood how they did it, but the scene when the setting where James Earl Jones turns into the snake.
Oh right.
Before he does that,
he was the first Jafar.
Yeah,
right.
Before he does that, there's a panning shot of that chamber, and there are a dozen naked women, fully naked, like they're just laid out in ways where you can't
in
see
positions, right?
Yeah, just laid out like kind of presenting themselves to the camera.
Oh,
and I'm watching the DVD. I'm going, how did they cut that? Like how? Because it seamlessly goes into James Earl Jones's transformation, and I'm going, like somebody really had to like be really spot on and like fix it just right so that it didn't jump.
Oh, right, yeah. Steady cam, man. I don't know.
Or they just shot it twice.
That's possible too.
Full room and empty room.
Could have been.
You know.
Yeah, and then just layer it.
It depends. It depends if when they were shooting it, they were like planning on TV release or whatever.
See, I don't think they were because they weren't even. what was I forget the director's name, but he was like, "Yeah, we weren't expecting it to do well domestically. We thought it'd do pretty good in
Europe.
Germany and Austria because of Arnold's popularity."
Sure, yeah.
And he's like, and then it had a really good weekend. They were like, oh, okay.
I mean, putting James Earl Jones in there doesn't hurt either.
No.
You know? And that was him coming off of Star Wars, too, during that time.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Everyone would have known the voice.
That's right. He had long hair.
Yeah. Yeah, he had some long... Were they like dreads? Or was it actually like straightened hair?
Straight.
Yeah, that's right. He had like straightened hair. That's interesting. Very, very interesting. But yeah, I guess I could show you guys now what Russ brought. So last night he brings over. He's like, I got the gift, and I was like, oh, and it's just sitting here.
Yeah, got y'all a gift.
And I didn't even notice because it was sitting amongst the debris of what Stuart does. Because when Stuart comes to my house, it's like a tornado. But yeah, so he brought this, which is, let's see, let me reposition my mic here. This is local to where we live, and it is literally made with honey. It's a whiskey made with honey.
It's very local.
Yeah.
One of the big fires in 2018. The big fire in 2018.
Yeah.
The bridge was, burned. And so it's made with the tears of the people who lived there.
Yeah. And a picture of the bridge. Yeah. And no, it's really cool. And when I asked him where he got it, he was very vague. In typical Russ fashion, he's like, "Oh, I kind of messed it up." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Oh, the top." And I felt it, and it had kind of like leaked out, and this top was kind of half off. So today I undid it to see, and when I went to take this off, this came off of the cork. So this top part.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I actually,
done that then.
so I re-glued this, and that's why I'm having it sit only about halfway in the bottle right now because it's still kind of drying, but I want the bottle to be closed too. So that's why it's kind of in this funky.
So I think you have to. So what does it have? It has a batch. Look here.
Oh, does it? Oh yeah. Batch number 2.
Barrel what?
Barrel 1. Bottle 8.
There you go.
So
it's a short run, and
it's a 90 proof.
You can literally see the honey in it.
Yeah, no, that's the really cool thing. I was gonna say you guys will have to take a look at this because it's super dark and it's super like you can see
I honestly, I'll be honest with you. I don't like to kiss and tell, but I will
He
say
actually does.
I mean, when you're married, why would you?
yeah, you do.
That seems like
Except for some reason, we always knew.
yeah. It's a good point.
No, I learned from Pretty Woman not to kiss in the mouth.
There you go.
Yeah.
Tim,
By the way, he's not talking about the movie.
oh yeah.
yeah, no.
I call that boyfriend of mine.
Yeah,
I call him Pretty Woman.
He calls him Pretty Woman.
Yeah. No. So I actually one of the reasons I bought it is because it was $80, and I'm like, you know what? I figured.
Just
all right,
flexing on us right now.
No. But I got it.
It was
I figured
$80.
if it was a $15 bottle, it probably would suck.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say, and this is true. So I
I-
was gonna say, Tim, you can try if you want to. You can try to see if that cork will come out.
You gotta-
I don't know if it's dry yet though, so just be ginger with it. Kind of maybe go back and forth.
He's
You know,
ginger.
You know what I mean?
He's ginger.
It's freaking. He's got no soul. Anyway, but
I'm only half. I got half.
oh, that's right. He's half a Horcrux. But okay, so it did come out. So, but I will say the general rule of thumb that I found, and there's probably going to be some people who disagree with me, but I think this is generally true. See, with wines, when you go to buy a wine, if you buy like a $40 wine or a $10 wine, or even more than $40, it doesn't inherently mean better quality for the price. It just means that, they can charge a higher price, likely because of the popularity of the vineyard or just the brand name or whatever, right?
Or just the kicks
stupidity
and
of people
Yeah.
that will buy it because they just go,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So wine, I've heard that many times from many different, sommeliers and different people who are really into wine. I'm less into wine. But they go, the price barrier really doesn't hold. So don't judge it based off of price. And I go, okay, that's good to know. When it comes to hard alcohols, especially whiskeys, the more you pay, it does tend to be a higher quality.
Are you gonna
So-
pour some?
I can, yeah. It's up to these guys, but yeah. So
I'll try it.
But I was gonna say also the merit of that being maybe one of 50 bottles
Probably makes the
or
price go up.
yeah. I mean that's it's a local bottle. Like you're not gonna find that anywhere else. So that alone makes it super valuable. So yeah, we'll give it a shot. We can try it.
I have to roll it. I'm guessing just because it looks like it's settled. I'd like.
Russ, can you handle it?
Make it a 1 ouncer.
Make it a triple. Then we'll see how much God loves you.
Yeah. Give me literally a half shot.
You just want the palate taste, and that's it.
Yeah, I've been really interested to see how it tastes. So I come back after all the time away. Dallas has a beard.
Yeah.
Tim decided to cut his hair
Yeah.
and his beard,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't tell whether or not. Do you have me turn around? And Zachary, nothing has changed.
No.
He continues to maintain a man bun,
Yep.
a small one.
At least for another couple months.
Another what?
It's
At least for another couple months.
less a bun. It's more like a
Why?
bob.
Why is it? Do you
Yeah.
just do it because you're on the mic?
What?
Is that why you pull it back?
Oh no, I haven't pulled back a lot. Just
Okay.
because it gets in the way. But I have it down a good amount too.
Dallas definitely is a liquor snob.
He is.
yeah.
He is a measurer.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a
Yeah.
bad thing, but
Well,
he just likes everybody to know how much they're about to
Yeah.
drink.
Yeah.
And then he pulls out. Everybody else has a highball, and Russ has a 1 ounce, half a shot.
I wanted to make sure that you knew you were not getting overpoured because I didn't know if you were going to trust my pour, so I wanted you to know. Like,
Oh no, I'm not tripping on the pour. It's fine. I just know that I will feel it if I have too much.
It would have been better if you put it in a sippy cup. So,
cheers,
Smells
cheers.
good.
cheers, boys. This is to Russ.
To Russ.
sure, it's a Russ.
Thank you, Russ.
Why not?
Boys.
Appreciate you. Let's have a taste.
Wow.
That is way sweeter than I thought it was going to be.
it's actually less sweet than I thought it was going to be.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's the perfect amount of sweetness. I was really afraid that it was going to be really sweet. That is actually...
It's just the front end that's sweet.
That is perfect.
I
kind of love it.
I said I kind of like
What is the
sweetness on it.
The proof?
Yeah.
90.
Yeah.
That's about
Okay,
normal.
So normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you...
It's very. But
What's the proof? It's 900?
No,
Oh,
to be
shit.
fair to
This is
me,
a
it's-
Coors Light.
it's very kind of what do you? I don't know how to talk about it. Like maybe very gassy. Like you can
I've never heard that term before, but maybe, yeah. What do you mean by
like
gassy?
as if
Like fuel? Is that what you're trying to say?
Fumy. Almost.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Like
Okay.
gasoline.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what I thought.
No. I don't mean gasoline. I mean like you can.
It's pungent a bit. Like you can smell it. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, but no, when you get up in the mouth, really.
Yeah.
I know what you're
No,
saying.
in the back of your soft palate.
This comes down warm. This hits really hot.
Yeah.
Like really warm.
Yeah, and
I like it. It's good.
not all whiskeys do that.
Yeah.
If you like that, I got
Well,
I got something up there. It's 120 proof. If you'd like to feel some warmth.
But you see, like once you like it gets very warm.
Yeah.
It's not all.
No, it's good. It's good. I like
I
a
like
whiskey that actually warms as it goes down.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's not a real, it just doesn't seem like a merit of like a really truly good, quality whiskey unless you can feel it literally go down your esophagus and.
I'm
into your
wondering if
body.
it's because of the sugar in it.
Maybe. I don't know.
I
I've never
like the honey.
had one like this. I'll have to look a little bit closer at how they made it. In fact, I'm gonna look it up and see how this guy makes it and see if he keeps making it.
Are you uncertain, Tim?
It's still that first blush of sweet that's just a bit much.
I can taste the honey still
Man,
like on my lips after.
Yeah,
I
I
think it's
freaking
great.
love the
I
honey.
like that bit. I like that I can taste it after.
I think it's a
on my
great
lips,
balance.
but
I think the alcohol is comes like the ethanol comes like a little.
it's a little aggressive.
It's a little harsh afterward, but
Oh,
other
yeah.
than that, this is pretty well balanced.
I think
Other than
that's
that,
what I think that's what I was probably looking for.
yeah,
The way you described
yeah.
it. What do you think?
I like it. I also enjoy the sweetness of it
Yeah.
without it being obviously super aggressive. It's not, freaking peanut butter. Or
Oh
screwball.
no, he was. Russ was lamenting that. That's
Yeah.
what he was telling Stuart about last night. He's about when we got the
was
peanut
that?
butter. It's called Screwball.
It's called Screwball.
God,
If you guys have ever
awful.
had it, it is. I personally, I hate it. I hate it.
It is
I
a
bought it
pe- a
once.
It is
with
candy.
peanut butter.
Yes.
I thought it was gonna be mild peanut butter
No.
flavor. No.
You could drink it because you could just down it because it tastes like
It's kind of like Reese's Pieces.
No. It's like I had this. It's butterscotch. It tastes like
It
butterscotch.
is like a butterscotch. But if you,
It's like
if
a
you're-
butterscotch candy melted down.
Yeah, but I
you're
always
drinking
thought
it.
it's extremely peanut butter taste, but it's like it's like a butterscotch or like a peanut butter, if you can imagine, like a syrup.
Right.
But it's like a candy taste.
candy
of it.
peanut
That's
butter.
why I also say I describe it as like Reese's Pieces,
Right.
Because it's that kind of a sweet peanut butter
Yeah.
taste, which is disgusting. If you think this is just going to be a normal whiskey, because
Right.
it was 35% alcohol.
Right.
So when it hits that, you're like, oh, this is a normal liquor.
Yeah.
Well, no, it tastes like a liqueur, but it's got the heat of a liquor.
Right.
And you're like, this is bad news. This is like
Oh, yeah.
Fireball.
No,
this
it's to the point where if you
Fireball's
wanted
better.
to, like,
No, and
Oh,
Fireball's better. I
Jeez.
wholeheartedly agree with that.
Well,
yeah.
it's to the point where you could pour it in a glass
Yeah, and you could
and
drink
just
it alone.
drink it, and you would never know.
Yeah, it
It's-
has
it's-
a slightly syrupy, consistency. And
It's so overwhelming.
It's something that you could
a
put on
college
ice
chick
cream as a topping.
It's too overwhelming. College chick would actually turn it down.
well, funny enough, the reason why I bought it, there was a girl.
was a bunch of college girls.
Well, there was a girl at the
He wishes
time
it was a
who
good
I
line.
was speaking to, and she recommended it, and she knew that I liked whiskey, and she's like, "Oh, you should try this." And I go, and I told her, I was super hesitant because I was like,
actually
"I've seen
hilarious.
this." I was like, "I've seen this in the stores because it had been getting popular, for a time." And I was like, I don't know, I'm super hesitant, but I was like, I'm willing to give it a shot. And she's like, oh, you definitely should. You really like it. And I was like,
Oh,
are you
man.
sure? And I remember asking her, I remember saying, I feel like it's going to be too sweet. And she told me, she was like, no, it's not too sweet. It's perfect. And I
She's
said,
like-
okay.
Said, am I too sweet?
So I bought it And then I never subsequently, within about a week after buying it, never talked to that girl again.
I was gonna say.
Because you know why you did that? Because she proved that she cannot be trusted.
No, yeah, exactly. I specifically asked her. I was very hesitant, and I asked her very specific questions, and I told her the types of whiskey that I liked and all of that. And she, with
She's
all
like,
of that, she
"Oh,
goes,
you're gonna love
"Oh, it's
it.
going to be fine."
You're gonna
Yeah.
love it.
She was.
Did she have some nice vocal fry?
She wasn't that bad, but she was Little Valley. Yeah. She was blonde. Yeah, she was Little Valley. Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with blondes.
No, not at all. But she.
They do have the most
I'm just
fun,
saying this girl
after all.
specifically was a little stereotypical. A little stereotypically true. Yeah. But anyway, and look, so basically what I started doing was, and Russ thought that I would just have people drink this because I thought it was good. So what I did was I kept it in the freezer as like one of these junk alcohols that I would make people take shots of when they came over,
Yeah,
because
to try.
I wanted to get rid of it, and I also wanted to see on people's face like, here, take a shot of this. And I knew that people could take a shot, number one, because it's in the freezer, so it's super cold, it's easy to drink, and then it's sweet too. So I was like, people can drink it. And then I would also look at my friends' faces, and the ones who drank it and were like, that's good. I was like, oh, cool.
Oh,
we're not
cool.
friends
We're
anymore.
not- yeah, get out.
Now I know we can't.
Yeah,
hang.
now I know you're not my real friend. Yeah. So
No, I think those things are cool. I think it was hilarious.
yeah, it was fun while it lasted, but I also at the same time there's a part of me that's like it's hard for me to just throw out alcohol.
Oh yeah.
I have a bottle of port that's sitting up on
I
my
have a hard time just flushing the toilet. I mean,
Wow.
we have our things.
That's a different type of problem.
Hey, what's did you give blood today? What's happening over there?
Oh, yeah, I did platelets today. Yeah.
He does.
I am
Aren't they
convinced.
Aren't they paying you enough at that job? Jeez.
You know what's funny? So my friend who works in the medical field in Nevada, she was talking to me about it, and I told her that I, semi-regularly I'll give, platelets or whatever. And she was like, "Oh, how do you do it for the money?" And I was like, "What money?" I was like, "They don't pay you for this." And she goes, "No, they do." And I was like, "I've never heard of I've heard of that, but I was like, I don't know if they do that in California." And she's like, "No, they definitely do." And I was like, "Oh, well then I guess I'm just giving at the wrong place or the right place. Like I don't know how you put it."
Right.
But I never I feel like, yeah, if I was, maybe in dire straits or something, then maybe I'd want some,
Sure.
money for it. But that's obviously it's not why I'm doing it. But I mean,
if you were ever called to donate your sperm, you would ask for.
Oh, you know what's
lots
funny
of
about
money.
this? I was just talking with my
So-
girlfriend about this literally this week. We were just talking about this because we were watching.
Does he get calls to donate his sperm frequently?
Yeah.
Also,
Russ,
the question
Russ
is
is
directed at
concerned.
me.
Yeah.
Like, why would I know?
No, Russ.
this?
I love how Russ is concerned now. He's like, wait. People want this
It's like,
guy's
I
genetic
just-
material. Like,
I see Dallas. He looks at his phone buzzes. He looks
Yeah.
at his phone, and he's like, "God dang it, man!
yeah. I'm like,
It's
again.
The
freaking
bid's
sperm.
up to 10,000.
Yeah.
It's the sperm donorship again."
Yeah. They
I'd
hit me
go
up.
back, but man, their literature is like, it's from the late '90s.
Can I just say
it needs to be
it's-
updated?
I'm just saying that the
Their
articles
literature.
in those Playboy magazines are lacking. That's all I can say. Okay.
Too many words.
Because I'm saying I read it for the articles.
Oh, not
That's
enough
what
words.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Too
The
many pictures.
The articles are the things that
Too many
really.
pictures.
Those are the things that really entice me.
Mm.
It's the words. It's a woman's mind. Don't show me a picture of a brain.
Anyways, you were talking about donating. You were talking about selling your sperm.
Oh yeah. Anyway, well, that's a side conversation. The whole thing.
Oh yeah.
So I'm convinced. So if any of you have ever gone to donate blood, whole blood, platelets, plasma, whatever, when you go there, you will notice that they wrap your arm in this big old gauze, colorful bandage, and they usually will let you pick the color and whatever. And they always tell you, because every time they have to tell you the same thing. It's like a safety precaution, whatever. They go, don't remove this for 6 hours. That's what they tell you. They go, don't remove the bandage for 6 hours. Which I've done it enough. I'm like, I don't.
For 6 hours.
It's just in case you don't properly clot, especially if you gave platelets. It's just to make sure you don't bleed, basically. But I was literally thinking about this today, and I think the reason why they give you bright colors and tell you not to take it off for 6 hours is because they want you brandishing the fact that you donated blood because they want other people to go, oh, did you donate blood? And it's like free advertising for them. No, I know it's not malicious. I think
the problem is with your answer to all those people is like, no, HIV.
No. I say yes, HIV. I've been donating.
Yes. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I bought stock in that company.
Yeah.
That fights HIV. Yeah.
Yeah. No, have you?
They're trying to spread it all over
it's got to
the
turn into
country.
like a skit. Like, yeah, I bought stock in HIV, and they're just like, what the hell? And you're like, no, homeopathic, intravenous, venereal disease. You're like, wait, what?
Huh? Took a turn there.
No, and then you really confuse them because they're like, what are you talking about? Are you talking about
homeopathic venereal disease?
intravenous?
I think it's organic.
Homo sapien.
Speaking of homoerotic,
improvement virus.
I did mention to Stuart last night. I showed him a picture of Beastmaster.
Oh, you showed him a picture?
The picture, yeah, Beastmaster. Speaking of homoerotic,
What, you mean you and a man
the
thong?
movie. No,
Hey, have you ever seen Beastmaster? Hey, look at this boy. Look at me.
This is my wife.
Look at me. Look.
Look at me. Now look at him. What do you see? Who's better? What turns you on more?
Remember the movie Beastmaster? Jim?
Oh yeah.
No.
They made a
Yeah.
TV
Yeah.
series about that. I used to watch that.
Yeah.
It was on UPN. That shows you the quality of.
All right, question.
television.
Can you name can you name the two ferrets in the movie? I just
Oh, no way. No.
Kodo and
no.
Podo.
No, I was going to say there's no way I can name any animals in there. No.
Man, I literally used to, a buddy of mine, Chris, used to shake hands because you grab the other guy's forearm. That's how they do it in the movie.
Right.
It's wildly homoerotic.
Oh
But Tanya Roberts was in it, so that's that.
Is that
Yes.
another dude?
Tanya Roberts was one of
You're like,
the...
and he was hung.
She was one
Love
of the...
Tanya.
Just saying.
Yeah.
There was plenty of.
She was one of the Charlie's Angels.
There was a lot.
Oh, was
shown.
she really? Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Actually, she's the one who... I think she was... What's her name's mom in that 70s show? One that just died not too long ago. With the sweater puppies.
Oh, yeah,
They-
Donna's
they
mom.
They loved her sweaters.
Yeah, they always would talk about her. Yeah, Donna's mom. Oh my gosh, yeah. That makes so much. Yes. Yep. I totally see it now.
Young Tanya Roberts.
Wow. Yeah,
Yes.
she was which is ironic. She was like a 70s, like kind of a, sexy babe icon. And then in that 70s show, the boys in the 70s are like all about her as a mom. So that was really.
And let's
clever.
keep in mind in the show she's like 50 something.
No, she was still pretty good looking. She wasn't.
Dallas said that. Wow.
She wasn't. Yeah, she wasn't bad looking.
Dallas, because Dallas is
It's been years since I've watched that show.
his needle. Pardon the pun. Is
Wow. Wow.
if
Phrasing.
Yardstick.
If she's over
Phrasing.
if
Yardstick.
she's over 30
Regardless,
years old.
still. Never mind.
He didn't. He didn't mention length.
Yeah, I was gonna. That's where my comment was, and then it went. Never mind.
I had it right
See,
the first time.
Zach and I were on the same page.
I had it right the first time.
No, I'm just saying. You can see an indicator more clearly when it's a yardstick, and I'm like, yeah, that's more
The
accurate.
question is, does Tanya Roberts make the needle move?
Oh man!
And the answer is, a young Russ would have said absolutely.
a current Russ.
The current Russ.
I don't think current Russ's
Current
needle
Russ.
moves at all.
It's just the blue. I mean, yeah, it does.
I think it's the heart.
It's the blue pill.
I think it's the heart can't handle it.
It's the blue pill.
So you
And I'm
take
not, and
are
I'm
you-
not talking about the Matrix.
Are you ingesting a lot of
With you-
saltpeter
with
to help?
Speaking of the Matrix,
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch
By
it.
the way, was
Cautiously optimistic.
Really?
not
Yeah.
Didn't watch it.
was not impressed by that trailer.
It's not an impressive trailer.
Not at all.
It's not an
I
impressive
saw
trailer.
people commenting like, "Whoa, wow, really excited," and I was like, "For what?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
They showed nothing. The
They
most exciting part of that trailer is Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah.
I was just like, "Oh, cool."
And he was not exciting in
I was
it at
like,
all.
"He's a therapist."
You know.
And, oh, the other thing that was actually semi exciting is number one, just to see Neo was cool, but obviously we knew Neo was going to be in there. But seeing Trinity, Carrie Fisher, I was like, oh,
Wait,
well, that's
Carrie
interesting.
Fisher.
No,
No, not Carrie Fisher. Carrie.
Oh,
It'll come to me. It'll come to me.
now
The actress who
Neo-
plays Trinity.
But Neo
it's
is
Carrie
not, is
something,
not, what's his
but it's
name?
not Fisher.
what now?
Yeah, no. Did you notice that? Yeah. Why did they cut out Lawrence Fishburne?
Lawrence Fishburne is the freaking.
Why do they have
man.
like they have? It looks like they replaced him with like a younger, just younger
Less
look-alike black
impressive
guy. Yeah, I was just like, what? I was like, what? I was
yeah,
like,
it's called
I was a little.
It's called a look-alike. Like what?
Yeah.
I mean, so they couldn't get Lawrence Fishburne to sign on, I guess. But
No, which is weird because Lawrence
Fishburne's freaking
Fishburne
awesome.
is with Neo, aka Keanu Reeves, in John Wick. He's been in 2 and 3,
Wow, that means there was some.
and
sort
I'm
of a-
sure he's in 4.
Yeah.
He has to be in 4.
Has to be in 4.
In fact, the way if you watch 3, you would know he has to be in 4. But yeah, that's that was, I think that was the most surprising thing that I was like, oh, that's weird. Unless
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
that's who knows? Maybe that's
It's
part of the
his-
plot.
it's his
Maybe
son.
it's like finding
See,
Morpheus or something.
I
don't
think
know.
part of it is the story of the Matrix is so convoluted at this point that the trailer tried to do dialogue that was supposed to be like
almost like
gripping.
yeah, it was like to get you to
Get you to
invest again. Yeah.
yeah. And I was sitting there watching. I was like, man, I want it to be good.
I think it's
Yeah,
gonna be
same.
an absolute whiff.
I would love it to be good. Like,
But-
don't get me wrong, I wouldn't root it. I'm not rooting against it.
Yeah, no, but I'm afraid of the Matrix 2 syndrome of
The Architect, where it's just
we just don't have a clue about our story, so we're gonna just speak nonsense.
So
Yeah.
wait, okay, is Elrond? Did he die in the movie?
we can only hope.
Did he die? Would he show up in
no. Elrond never dies because he's an elf,
I don't-
actually. So he's lived nigh thousands.
No, but
of
he's
years.
in the Matrix though.
Oh, you mean
Agent Smith.
Agent Smith?
Agent
Yes.
Smith, yeah. Agent Smith is.
Yeah.
Well, he dies. But he dies
Ten-
over and over again.
Well, in the end of the third one, spoiler alert.
20 years
he-
on, you know.
I mean, yes, but people still like to hear it. But it by all accounts confirmed he should be completely annihilated at this point.
So now, so I took Reagan to see Shang-Chi. That's where I saw the trailer, and it had me think, I think it's time to show the Matrix to Reagan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think she'll probably be confused by it. And
Well, I mean, didn't you just watch it for the first time last year?
yeah, I watched it. You watched
You watched it with us.
You watched it with us.
Yeah.
I watched it at your house.
You
last
literally
year.
watched it for the first time.
I've seen now. To be fair to me, I've seen
Sure, glimpses
here and there. But
Yeah.
I'd not after watching. I was like, I don't think I've seen much of this at all.
No, the
But
first
I don't
one.
really understand the plot either.
Oh, the first one is great.
The first one has a complete story arc.
Yes.
I was gonna say the first one I don't think is really that confusing.
Yeah,
no, I
it-
think
it's
this
It's
first
just
one makes
actually
a
a pretty straightforward
yeah,
story.
it makes
Yeah,
a ton of
it-
sense.
it
I don't
has-
know. I don't know what the Matrix is though. That's all.
It's literally
They explain
They
it
explain it.
They explain it in the first one. They literally.
It's been 2 years now. Come on.
okay.
The Matrix.
But that's not you not knowing the story. That's like
Yeah,
from watching it. That's just
I maybe forgot it.
That's
you
your
just
existing
age.
brain
The
damage.
Matrix itself
Fair.
is not
too many concussions.
the one
too much
thing
football.
to remember, and it's actually the clue in the foreshadowing clue is when Keanu and Fishburne are in the dojo training,
Mhm.
and Neo's getting beat up, and Morpheus leans over and goes, "I think that's air you're breathing."
Yeah, and he's panting.
Yeah,
because
and-
he's like out of breath.
And the whole point of the Matrix is that it's the code. It is the
Yeah,
essence of perception.
that it's not reality.
Well, it's not that it's not reality. It's our perception of reality,
Right.
and it's the fact that they can manipulate it is simply because the Matrix itself is just the code. It's
Right.
It's the reason why. What's his name? Who betrays them?
Oh, Cypher.
Cypher.
Yeah.
It's the reason why Cypher is looking at the code and just like, what do you see in him?
Oh yeah.
It's that weird kind of push and pull between perception and reality, but the Matrix is the line between the two.
Right, and that's why when in Neo, at the end of the first Matrix, when he comes back, that's why from that point on he sees everything in code,
as the
even
Matrix.
when he's in the Matrix,
Right?
Which is no one can do that, and so that's why they can do extraordinary things, but they can't fully break it, and he just breaks it. He's like, I realize all this is code,
And then
so I
he
just do whatever I
loses
want.
that ability for 2 more movies.
Well, no, they make it very clear in the second one that he has it, but then they throw in a bunch of other things because it's like, well, what happens when you have Superman? And at the end of the first one, he's Superman.
Yeah.
So what do? Well, now we had to introduce kryptonite.
Right.
And then their kryptonite gets really confusing, and just as real kryptonite is, because it has all these special rules and
they
yellow
can never
suns
settle on
and-
what kryptonite is or does. So.
kind of exactly.
Except that it's a green rock that dampens its powers.
And what is the Matrix? A bunch of green code. You know, it's. I see the parallels. That's all I'm saying.
Is that literally why you think they did it?
No, I mean, I think the green coding just refers to the original computers where it was a black screen with green
That's
code.
fair. Yeah.
It's the MS DOS.
Chrome.
Neo is very parallel with Superman because he goes from just being an everyman to he literally can fly and he has inhuman strength and all these kinds of things.
It's the savior complex.
Yeah, it's any that Superman is akin to like everything because he's been around since the time of like the early 1900s and he's been in all kinds of pop culture, so he's applicable to everything because he's also like the most powerful anything. So everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch the movies because I'm not remembering anything.
Yeah, especially the first
blue
one.
Pills and red pills. I know that.
Yeah.
Are you blue pilled or red pilled? And that's all that matters.
Are you blue balled or red balled? That's
yeah.
the real question.
Both sound terrible.
Those are the only colors that matter to me.
Blue and red.
Blue and red.
America.
That's it. I didn't mean it like that.
Oh, I know.
But yeah, no.
Doesn't matter.
It was trying to go not racist, and then by you going America somehow made it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
made it a nationalist thing.
It is the. There are some parallels to our political climate.
I mean, I don't know. If you're
Our
sophisticated,
political climate. Huh?
I think if you're intelligent at all, you can draw parallels to almost any form of.
Well, that's what he does for a living.
Yeah.
He's an English guy.
Yeah,
You
you make up
you,
shit.
You make it up as you go. Make everything mean anything.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a master's degree in making shit up.
It's like, what's that great meme? It's like the English teacher goes, put sugar in a sentence, and they go, the tea they served was very hot, and then the English teacher asks, yeah, but where was the sugar? And then the student goes, in the tea. And then the English teacher goes, wow, wow, oh,
Yeah.
you know, and they're blown away.
It's one of the reasons why I don't give tests.
Yeah.
I took tests.
You give out smiley faces. You don't.
Well,
give out
no,
letter
like there were
grades?
English classes I took as a college student that had like finals and stuff.
Everybody
They
had
were
to get a smiley face.
mostly literature based, and they were like recall tests. And
Total Recall.
no,
Oh, okay.
no, because it wasn't that fun.
That was a fun movie.
No, it's like if you are in a literature class, you read a bunch of literature, and then you're quizzed on how much you retained.
Yeah, it's just memorization.
Yeah,
really.
it's just memorization and then regurgitation.
Yeah.
And what I found was the most rewarding from lit classes that didn't have tests.
I love lit classes, dude.
Yeah, I know, right?
They're dope.
Anyway, they were lit classes before lit meant lit.
There better not be any. You better not
Let's
be able
meant
to
that for a
see
long time, by
clearly
the
in
way.
there.
It's so smoky.
Keep going.
Whoa, it's
It
lit.
didn't mean what it means now. Anyway, the point
slang
is,
word.
the point is, most of the
Get lit. I'm sure you've
It's
heard
meant
that.
that for a long time.
Oh yeah.
I think he.
Yeah.
Right.
anyway.
I know.
He's
I know
talking
it-
like 1800s, like lit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
The point being lit being short for literature.
Yes.
Um,
For the literaturized.
when I had classes that didn't have tests, it was about coming in and discussing what you read
Yes.
If it's talking points, I retained so much more information and so much more content when it was talking points and, oh, what about this moment here? What did you think about that? Versus here's a test. Tell me what happened on page 56. In this way. Testing for what is essentially an aesthetic.
Yeah.
Is just it's counterproductive to an aesthetic.
I agree.
So
yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I always thought those tests were bullshit. It's like it's like the test that you give to like elementary schools or like middle schoolers just to prove they read the book.
Right.
And that's different.
I feel like you had crappy professors. I'm sorry. I feel like you had crappy professors then.
I had some crappy. I had some great ones.
I had some excellent professors.
Texas alert. I'm feeling a Texas alert here.
No, here's why. Here's what I'm saying.
Everything's better in Texas. Am I right?
No. He went to Arkansas.
I went to Arkansas. I had
Everything's
very few-
better in the South.
Your high
just
school
so-
was your high school not better?
Of
course it was.
No, Dallas.
Oh no, my high school. But
Dallas. He's talking about university. So it's Arkansas. Yeah. And
where they could barely speak English.
Their English department in Arkansas is. Right, but the Arkansas English department is probably even now today extremely skilled and very well run. It's just that their history is off.
I think the biggest problem in California is you don't know your Texas history.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You didn't properly learn it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You didn't understand that
Right.
it took this big state down there in the middle on the bottom to be the foothold.
Your
for
position?
the West to actually develop and become what it is.
Oh no,
For
totally.
our country.
It's true.
Totally.
They should literally have
Also,
should have a Sam Houston Day in California.
We should. Wow. I mean, Sam Houston, he did okay.
No, he didn't. He did okay. You have to imagine he was the first and third governor of Texas.
Right.
I'm sorry, president of Texas. But he
President of Texas.
Yeah.
First and third president
exactly.
of Texas.
I'm the president of this company.
And so what did he do? Well, he was wise enough
and you're the first
to say,
and last.
He was wise enough to say that the union is greater. So let's hand in our republic, and we are going to become a state in the union.
Right, and we're gonna do that. And then we're gonna spend the rest of eternity reminding the union that we were that magnanimous.
You remember when we did that good thing that one time? You remember that?
Meanwhile, California's California.
Hey,
No, it's California.
Yeah.
California.
Actually, I wish you would go back to California. That'd be better.
That'd be great.
Would be better.
No,
I would love that.
California, we can't help it. Like we kicked Mexico's butt and took it. Like Texas.
Did you?
Well, the union did.
Well, technically, this whole thing
California didn't do anything to Mexico.
The
Texas did.
California wasn't really California.
Yeah.
Until later.
Well, technically, this whole half is Louisiana. So
Really, what happened?
Let's
was,
get real.
What really happened was
Hey
the
man,
Indians.
take us back to
Louisiana.
So,
I mean,
Let's make Louisiana
Great
Louisiana again.
Yeah, right.
State of
What
Jefferson,
really happened
no. State of Louisiana,
State of
part
Louisiana.
The Apache and the Cherokee kicked the crap out of everyone in Texas and Mexico.
Yeah.
And to the point where the Mexican army is like, nah, heck no, we're not going into Texas anymore.
Yeah.
Because the Apache was freaking vicious.
Yeah.
And
Texas isn't. If Texas was so great, what happened at the Alamo?
Ooh. Okay, that
kind of got your ass handed to you. That's
Ooh.
all I gotta say.
Wow.
The ultimate rebuttal to Texas.
Start.
Any Texas point.
I think I literally just started a war with the state of Texas.
That's like my
wow.
That's like my callback to anything Irish. Even though I'm part Irish, it's just like, you guys lost to potatoes. Like, come on.
Yeah, no, and that's a fair one too.
Yeah.
You lost to potatoes.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
it's
so
an
the-
oversimplification, but it
Oh
works.
yeah, but it's still
Better
funny.
testing though would be discussing. You're testing on what was discussed about the book,
right.
not what happened on page 56.
Right.
So there's the literary critical theories of whatever you happen to be going through for that text. And I think that testing in that regard is quite good, because what you're teaching then is some sort of literary theory rather than.
Well, you're teaching them to think rather than to just
when your test is small essays or paragraph essays in your test, I think it works great because you're able to relay your point and make an argument and prove that you understand something. If your tests are fill in the blank questions or multiple choice answers, you're not really learning anything. You're learning how to take a test, and that's it. Right. Which is why Tim has a great argument in the fact that when you're not taking tests, but instead you're writing about this thing and explaining your argument or explaining how you understand it, that is a form of test. Yeah. It's just not with the, exam header. Yeah.
And it's difficult to standardize that form of testing. Right. Which is what our country has been leaning on for the last
Well, that's why I was
40 years.
Talking.
I blame it on Texas Instruments.
I do too. I blame it on the calculator.
I was talking with some people about this the other day.
Don't blame T.I. All right, just all of Atlanta will rise up against you.
No, hey, I love T.I. I love T.I.
I like that.
I never had anything against T.I. But Texas Instruments has got to go down. That's all I got to say.
I was just talking about this.
That's a lot of jobs.
We were talking about why do we change STAR testing every 2 years to something completely different? It's because they don't know how to test the youth in a proper way.
That's not the only reason.
Well, I mean, the other reason is
because it produces money for numerous companies.
Well, that's the only reason
from the state of California. Do start
testing.
They're crap heads.
No, that's the only reason they do start testing. But anyways.
Hey, I won't have language like that on my podcast.
I'm just thankful.
We don't tolerate that shit here.
Yeah, fuck
that. Is you guys are all a bunch of buttholes.
Somehow butthole is like
terrible.
More egregious than calling someone a fucker. Like fucker is almost like I don't know. It's almost more friendly than being like you're a butthole. It's like I'm a what?
Well, that's because it's so much. It's so much less to use. It's like
I guess maybe that's why
my butthole's used plenty.
Phrasing.
Said the man from Texas.
Standard curse words. Right? Your standard.
Well,
are you sure you're not from Nantucket?
We understand why they have cows in Texas now.
It's steers. Steers.
There's only two things in Texas.
Steers. Yes, as I've been corrected.
Steers.
Hey, he knows the line.
They teach it. Come from Texas.
It's a great line from. I always confuse it. Is it Full Metal Jacket or Platoon?
Full Metal Jacket.
It's full. Yeah, that's right. That's right. It is Full Metal Jacket.
It's Full Metal Jacket.
I confuse
one
those
of
two.
Our punter
movies.
In college. Every time we drive down to Little Rock, Chris Aiken, he's from West Memphis, Arkansas, and he. It was funny because the punter is going to be on the defensive bus. Your kicker is going to be on the offensive bus.
Right.
I did not know there was an offensive and defensive bus.
You need to keep them separate.
I'm telling you as I go.
Yeah, I know.
You need to keep them separate because they'll get pissed at each other.
They're not even on the same team, really. Like
I don't know what you all are talking about. But we had charter buses. We'd go down to Little Rock from Fayetteville. We'd have some games down there, and it was the old school buses where you had the TVs up above. You had a few TVs up on the ceilings.
Yeah.
Who
the defense every single time. Absolutely cool with Chris Aiken running the show, the punter.
Yeah.
Running the show every time. Put on Full Metal Jacket.
Every time?
Every time.
Wait, was it like
a VHS?
Wait. But was it like a... did it become like a tradition? Like if we don't do this, it's like, they get superstitious type of thing? Because my brother, he's a pro baseball player. They do things. You get very superstitious.
Baseball players are more superstitious.
Yes,
yeah,
I do agree. But it's still there.
There is a difference as far as superstition between baseball and football.
I'm just saying, any high level sport has its superstitions for sure.
Yeah, football's more like.
But baseball, it's part of the.
Anyway, no, I was just asking.
Of baseball
football's more about can I do the thing over and over again in the same way.
Yeah.
And everyone else does their job at the same time.
Yeah.
And everybody works at the same pace.
That's what Russ has asked of his wife every night.
That's true.
What did I ask her?
I want to do the same thing
over and over again.
And she says, you know what she says? I do too. It's called sleep.
Baseball's more along the lines of I'm going to go up and be one-on-one with a pitcher, so I'm going to have I'm going to take on Superstitions for myself.
And baseball is one of the few games that's a team sport, yet if you do it right, it only requires 2 defensive players.
Yeah.
And that can happen. And so
pitcher and a catcher.
That's where, and my brother's a pitcher, and so being a pitcher, you're most likely for the most superstition, because when you have a great game, you're like, what did I do that night? What did I eat? Like, how did I, what did I?
I would say your pitchers, specifically your relievers,
and that's what he is.
And then your power hitters.
Yeah. They got a lot of superstition as well.
Because they're
and then hang on. What's the craziest position on the baseball team? It is a pitcher.
Closer.
The ones that are always nuts are the freaking closers.
Closers.
I never understood why. Yeah. Hold on.
They're the kickers. They're the kickers.
My brother has been a closer and a relief.
No, they're not the kickers. Kickers are they're the pole vaulters of the baseball team. Hey,
I talked to your brother about
are nuts.
Actually,
they're just different guys.
Dallas, I actually talked to your brother about closing and about his mentality.
Yeah,
and he was like, "Yeah, it's a different mound."
Yeah,
in the 9th than it is in the 8th.
What is that? What is the name? What was the name of that dude that played for the Indians? He was a closer. Kept getting in a lot of trouble.
That. Hey, they're called Native American.
Yeah, you can't say that.
Yeah,
my bad.
Yeah, we're gonna get censored.
My bad.
Have they changed that name yet? They're still
the Cleveland Indians.
Still the Indians.
You know what's funny?
I heard because we changed the Redskins.
Yeah, you know what's funny?
To the Washington football team.
I watched the whole thing.
I actually don't have a problem with it. I kind of like
What are they called now?
The Washington football team.
They're changing the name next year.
Oh, well,
they just didn't come up with a name.
I was gonna say, well, that's stupid.
They just didn't come up with a name until they.
They just call themselves the Untitleds for the rest of. We are the Untitled Washingtons.
Or instead of the Redskins, they just call themselves the Reds.
The Untitled.
Reds.
Yes. Yeah. That'd be kind of cool. And then they change their uniforms to just black and white. You know, it's just like the Untitles.
Or what if they just
That'd
change
be kind of cool.
What if they just changed the name to underscores? Just like 5 underscores.
There'd be too.
And the announcers.
That's too meta.
The announcers wouldn't know what they underscores.
They just call them the blanks.
The blanks.
They just call them the blanks,
which is worse than calling them the. Here's the motherfucking blanks. Oh, whoops! I put that in the wrong order. Here's the blank and blanks. Actually, that was a great name for a team. The blank and blanks.
The blank and blanks.
The blank and blanks. Oh man, that'd be hilarious. That'd be like a great movie team. You know what I mean? The blank and blanks.
Just a heads up, we're getting to wrap up time.
Yeah, that's what I've had a feeling. Any closing arguments? Closing words? I see you looking for something.
I'm trying to figure out who the closer I was thinking of.
Russ is literally typing in right now. He's like, "Who is married to Russ?" He's trying to remember his wife.
Yeah, I keep going into the wrong house.
Well, that's on purpose.
Yeah, wrong bedroom.
But now you want
wrong bedroom.
Now you want plausible deniability.
Wrong bedroom of my neighbor's house.
You know, the wrong bedroom. It's one thing to go to the wrong house. To go to the wrong bedroom.
When you wake up in a Japanese family's kitchen and they won't stop screaming, you know you did something wrong.
I'm pretty sure
this is going to need a lot of editing. Okay.
It's just a sign of the times.
Oh, it makes me laugh, though. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the Freeform podcast with Tim and Zach and our special guest today, Russ. We wish
yourself.
Gabby a special recovery, signing out, saying there were no blanks harmed during the filming of this podcast.
But we did harm the whiskey.
Oh, no, I'd never harm it.
Just enjoy it.